have frost buildup sometimes in the winter on our windows. Sometimes we see condensation kind of starting to build up the water on our windows. What causes that, and how could we resolve that in the wintertime?
Okay, LeRoy, there's a few things that can actually cause that. So first of all, the quality of the windows may have a little to do with it. So if you've got an old single pane slider, you're always going to get frost on that outside pane on the inside, whatever. So there's nothing you can do about that.
Okay.
I have them in my own home, and when it gets to minus 30, you're done. You can't do anything. But if you've got a double pane window, it could mean that the humidity is too high in your home. Okay,
right.
so
From
you have
the humidifier, the setting on my humidifier.
Yes, if you've got your humidity too high in the home, then what'll happen is that, again, we're talking a little bit more about the dew point in that. So what ends up happening is that window's cold. And so you got a lot of moisture in your home. It's looking for a place to condense, or looking for a place. It wants to find cold air. So it finds the windows first.
Right.
And that's why it condenses and you get a little bit of condensation. Now, if you're getting a little bit of condensation in the bottom window, for the most part, that's probably fairly normal.
Right. So we talked about humidity being too high in the winter. Where am I setting that humidifier?
Okay, they recommend, CMHC recommends 35 to 50%.
Okay.
I kind of think 50 is a little bit on the high, but say 35,
somewhere in that region. Yeah. So I set my humidifier to around 35.
And then what I tell people is watch your windows. If you're getting a lot of moisture on your windows, you might want to back that off just a little bit.
Okay.
And if you're, again, static electricity, bleeding noses and sore throats, then turn it up a little bit. So you got to try to control that humidity in the home.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, so that could be a part of the problem as well, is just that the humidity is too high. And the other thing that I just like to mention too is using bathroom fans and using kitchen fans is very important.
Okay.
Okay. And a lot of people don't like to do that because sometimes it's drafty in the bathroom when you have the fan going or whatever and you're taking a shower. But you should have that fan running during the time that you're having the shower and at least 20 minutes after.
Right. So when we feel it drafty, because I remember people talking about this, is that fan is actually sucking air out. So
if it's not taking the moisture out, that moisture now is going through the house
and
looking for a window.
Windows.
It's looking for a window.
Okay.
And then it'll condense.
Okay.
So that's the other thing. And there is another thing that I think we're going to touch on later a little bit, is the fresh air intake.
Yes.
And that is probably the #1 cause, I think, of excess moisture in the home. Is you have that intake on the outside wall, and when your furnace is running, you're trying to bring that fresh air from outside into the home.
Yes.
And basically and then exhaust that fresh air out, exhaust the moisture out of the house. If you don't have that fresh air intake clean, you're just recirculating old air all the time in your house, and that's the kitchen and the bathrooms and everything. You're just constantly recirculating that moist, latent air.
Right.
And so that's a bad thing.
That causes the buildup as well.
So you need to have that fresh air intake open on the outside.
Okay.